How's it going, everyone? Jeff from Lewis Physical Therapy here. So this video today is going to be primarily for those athletes that are stuck on that bodybuilding program. They're doing a, back and biceps day one week. They're doing a, quads and hamstrings day the other day, and they're they're going 6-7 times a week. They're going to failure or close to failure from a hypertrophy standpoint each time. This video is for you, and I'll let you know that there is a much better way for you to train from a sport performance standpoint. Listen, if you're middle-aged and you really want to pack on some lean muscle mass and just have a lot more hypertrophy training more than anything, go for it. That's totally fine to do. Nothing really wrong with that, especially if aesthetics are your goals. But from a sport performance standpoint, our goal is not to just pack on a bunch of muscle mass that we can't utilize from a sports standpoint. I'll be honest with you, there's more of a negative than a positive to that, which I've seen where some guys go to the gym and we'll just take a chest day, for example. They do 6 different chest exercises. They'll do a barbell bench, a barbell flat bench press, a barbell incline press, then a dumbbell fly, then a cable fly, then push-ups and one like that. There's no reason for someone to be doing 5 different chest exercises on that there. The whole goal of strength and conditioning from an athletic standpoint is driving adaptation. And what I mean by driving adaptation is we're trying to develop biomotor qualities, whether it is work capacity, general to maximal strength, explosive strength. So that's going to be much more of the ability to accelerate in the concentric phase of a movement in a fast manner. Reactive strength, that's going to be much more of utilizing the stretch shortening cycle, plyometrics, so maybe some eccentric isometric work, and then speed more than anything. And then really once we take those 5 biomotor qualities, and this is a generalization for a majority of team sport athletes that require this, again, someone that's a cross-country and endurance runner, they are not going to need those type of qualities. It's probably going to be work capacity, local muscular endurance, and maybe some type of level of strength as well. But for majority of team sport athletes, your program needs to be based off of how do you develop and max out those biomotor qualities, but to the point that it allows you to be successful and transfer it to the field. What I don't really necessarily care from an athlete standpoint is I don't need you to be the biggest, strongest guy in the gym. If you're the biggest, strongest guy in the gym, but you can't perform on the field, there really is, we haven't really done our job there. I would much rather someone show a good foundational set of qualities on there, and then they can take those qualities and transfer them very well to the field of sport, because that is what matters more than anything. So really how I go about programming this, a lot of it will depend on the time of year. In the off season, I might be having guys 3 to 4 times a week in the gym. And what I will say in the early part of the off season, maybe the GPP strength phase, I might have a little bit more, especially in the GPP, a little bit more hypertrophy work. As we start to get away from that GPP phase, I pull back on the hypertrophy work, because volume, more often than not, is going to tax guys both physically and neurologically. As we get closer to the season, the volume of the work in the gym and even the condition from that standpoint is going to start to decrease, because the volume from their practices and games and other sport activities is going to go up. So we never want what we're doing in the gym to be counterproductive to what they're trying to do on the field. And then in season, 2 times a week, 3 times at most for guys is sufficient in order to get done what they need to get done. And again, once we're in season, the whole goal of in-season strength training is maintenance primarily. We know that guys are going to lose strength during the season because we can't lift them at as frequent volume or frequent high intensity. High intensity meaning 90% max, 90% plus, because it's probably going to tax their nervous system to the point where they then are not going to be able to perform in season the way that they need to. So that's really how the structure from a strength program should look like throughout the year for an athlete. Again, if you're in season, say you're a baseball player, you're in your either high school season or the rigorous summer season where you have a tournament every weekend, your goal is making sure you get what you need from a strength standpoint that allows you, for one, to be able to keep performing and maintaining a level of performance. Let's just say for a pitcher, to make sure that they can maintain their throwing velocity, an arm care, injury risk standpoint, but also just from a performance standpoint as well. Again, we know that we are going to lose strength in season, and that's why developing a high, solid level of strength in the offseason is so important.